Hi everybody, welcome to your November Wine Club video. Today I've got our sales manager, Michael Eighmey, who is also my husband. I am Sarah, for those of you who don't know me. I am the general manager here at Anthony Road. I am the third, I guess I'm the oldest daughter of Ann and John Martini. And Mike has been our sales manager since 2015, Mike?
That's right.
Yeah. So he's here with me today to talk a little bit about what's been going on harvest-wise. We're kind of towards the end of our harvest here at Anthony Road. And then we'll taste through some wines, and Michael will give his spiel. He's typically out on the road selling the wine and making Anthony Road what Anthony Road is.
Ooh, is that what I do?
That is what you do. Well, you help represent the family and the industry as a whole. So, Mike, tell us what are we doing here outside? What's going on in the vineyards?
And you'll correct me on a couple. I'm not sure to the varietal specifics, but for the most part, whites have made it to the press deck for most people around the Finger Lakes, and I believe we've got just about everything in for Anthony Road specific. Reds, people now are debating hang time. How much longer do they need to get what they want? We're already seeing some of the earlier ripening reds coming in the Finger Lakes, or just people, they're ready to start working. They want to get these things in. They're kind of in a position that's very workable for the seller to do some of the things they want to do. Traditionally here at Anthony Road, we make it into November with like our Cab Franc and Lemberger. Not uncommon if you see a little October. But what the good stuff going on is the sun's been out, the heat's been up. We did have a quick batch of rain, which scares her brother, the vineyard manager. Peter's been out there making these grapes do what they do, and the finish line is near, and he'd like that to bring that home while the seller's evaluating what the chemical composition of the grapes are and what they're working with. So everything could really come in right now, but every day is just another blessed day. So all is good.
Actually, the only fruit that I know we have still hanging on the vines is our Riesling. There's still some Cab Franc up on our Nut Road site, but the Riesling is hanging. We've picked most of the fruit here on the Martini Vineyard side of things. We will have some late harvest style wines this year. We'll for the 2025 vintage. Peter has said that we'll have a late harvest Vignole and a late harvest Riesling is in the works. So that's pretty exciting. And the news that I've heard is that the fruit has been very clean. Reds are going to be another banger year for red wines. We're pretty excited about how things are going. So, with that being said, let's go on to what you're going to get in your wine club shipments this month. Friends Club will start off. We'll be getting the Field Blend 2023 Field Blend Red. This is typically a blend that they've done for the cellar crew. At the end of harvest, the crew goes through and picks some reds that have been hanging on the vines, and they co-ferment and make a cellar red blend. And we've been giving it to friends and family, and everybody raves about it. So I think our decision was to give it to you folks. So this is the first time this blend has been labeled. Do we know the composition of this? I know.
No, I don't.
I do.
I don't, because like a wine like this isn't something that I work with retailers, and this is where it's special to come to the wine club only. So yeah, this will be my first time tasting outside of some samples pre-bottling.
Yeah, so this is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Syrah. And so these were all picked at the same time and pressed and co-fermented. So it makes for a really nice amalgam.
Do it.
I can't say the word.
Amalgamation and togetherness. Cohesiveness.
A cohesive blend. I think you guys will really enjoy it, and it is special just for for you folks. We had you in mind when we put it in the bottle. Mike, why don't you go ahead and evaluate that wine a little bit for me?
Right off the bat, not that we traditionally in cold climate make a big to-do about color, but beautiful color. What you get in the Finger Lakes is, did you macerate long enough to extract bolder colors? We don't really care. But it is nice when wines are pretty. Nothing wrong. I can see just on the glass, everything looks beautiful. Nice clean nose. A lot of times with something like this, it's fresh, it's young, and you can get some early aromas of youth, if you will. But this smells beautiful.
Yeah, fresh fruit.
And like for myself, I can't tell you what the traits that I'm expecting from Petit Syrah. It's not something that we've done as a pure varietal. So when you evaluate a blend like this, especially with co-fermentation, you're trying to parse it out in your brain, but this comes together very nicely as a whole. Light, fresh, probably one of the reasons why we've always enjoyed field blends as a whole. We don't spend a lot of time in barrel. They just something to be light, fresh, kind of a nouveau, if you will. We're not trying to chase that, but if those who understand Beaujolais Nouveau, it's just a light, fresh wine, and this is beautiful in that category alone.
I think it has some nice weight. There's some nice tannins to it, a little bit of grippiness, some deep cherry, maybe some chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice mix for us, especially when we are so, I hate to say it this way, but dominant Cab Franc and Lemberger, that when we play with our other grapes, it's a lot of fun, and this is great. The co-ferment conversation is a popular conversation right now in more of your, I don't want to say natural wine movements, but some of the fresher energies when it comes to winemaking. Co-fermentation is something that's often brought up, and something I haven't spent time with our cellar team to know where they stand on it, but I know the outcome, and it's delicious.
And I think it's drinkable now, but it would also age beautifully. So this can be held on to. So you might want to add some extra bottles to your shipment. Okay, so friends, get the field blend and the 2024 Rosé of Lemberger. And we like to include this in the November shipment because it's a nice Thanksgiving wine, and people sometimes just stop drinking rosés. And you don't need to stop drinking rosés as the weather gets colder, because there is some weight and some body to them, correct?
Yeah, I had a conversation just yesterday, and it's some rhetoric maybe I need to stop. People do respect rosé. It is not an afterthought. It is something that should be on wine lists and in personal drinking year-round, especially stylistically. Ours are not just what you call pool pounders, crisp, cold, refreshing. Ours have a little bit more to it, and for that, sommeliers love to pair. It's easy to pair foods with, but just a delicious straight drinker when you're just trying to, enjoy. I hate to say that I do fall prey to seasonality, not of rosé, but as it gets colder, I'm thinking more reds. It happens.
I'm guilty as well.
Yeah, rosés fill that gap year-round, and the shoulder seasons. That's a term I've recently heard, shoulder seasons.
And you're all very familiar with this, the 2024 Rosé of Lemberger. But will make for a nice Thanksgiving wine. It'll be a nice complement to the turkey, stuffing, squashes, salads, kale salads, that type of cuisine.
Is that our menu for Thanksgiving?
No, we go to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, so whatever they're cooking is what we're having. Usually it's the normal stuff.
Yeah, this rosé I was asked yesterday, my favorite wine. This is it. It's so fresh. I love what Lemberger does. I love the exploration of the grape Lemberger or Blaufränkisch. I'm enamored by Austrian wines. I love cool climate reds into these rosés. This is just a great grape that we really enjoy working with here in our cellar.
Fantastic. Thank you. So, friends, you will be getting the 2023 Field Blend Red and the 2024 Rosé of Lemberger. Family, you will also be getting those two, but you are going to be getting the 2022 Lemberger as well.
Yay.
Another Lovely vintage 2022. Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about our Lemberger?
I do. I'll lead off with that vintage 2022. It was just a refreshment in the cellar, and I love how our winemaker Peter Beecraft breaks it down. He doesn't really get down to the nitty gritty. That 21, it rained a lot, and the challenge is 21 winemakers made their money. They had to work hard. Those grapes did not just jump in that bottle as easily as they like to tell you. But in 2022, they did, and the outcome is apparent. A little bit more color extraction this year, just naturally. Same amount of time, same great flute flavor as the 21s, and you wouldn't have to taste those to compare the two. But as you get into this one, nice color on the Lemberger. It always maintains. Sometimes a little bit more translucent. Lemberger's got a lot of natural acidity, and with that, it makes a wine more translucent, but very nice color. And just knows that I love, it is that red berry fruit. For me, I already know there's a little kind of a current. Sometimes I predispose what's going on, and I just know what to expect, and I get excited about it. I like red currant. I like black currant. I like fruit spice, and that's what Lemberger offers my palate and my enjoyment.
Sure. My sister Liz likes to have this with meatloaf. It is a burger. I think it might even go with your turkey. It's not overpowering. It's fairly lower, relatively lower in alcohol. Cold climate wines, I would say, are lower in alcohol. Not your big jammy reds, but just light, refreshing, with a little bit of weight, and a little bit of body.
Nice, that weight comes from just a touch of tannin profile. The cellar team traditionally, their programming is how we say it when I'm selling wines. What's the barrel program? About 14 to 18 months. Usually on this particular 22, I believe it was 14 months specific, but neutral barrel aging, which is wine speak for we use older barrels. We're not after the influence of oak and dill and some of the things that a new barrel will offer us. But it just brings the wine together, a chance to breathe and live. Oftentimes, like in our Cab Francs, it can elevate a little bit of a pepper spice, and I think it brings that up here in this with the fruit spice. But delicious.
So 2022 Lemberger, and then the fourth wine that family will be getting is the 2023 Pinot Blanc, and we did just put this in. You did get this wine as well in your March shipment, but it's just drinking really nice right now, and we're all enjoying it here at Anthony Road, and it's become one of our favorite wines, and we thought it would make a great complement to your Thanksgiving table. So we wanted to share it again with you because Pinot Blanc right now is hot. It's kicking it.
We had just had the conversation. We've grown a lot of grapes for a long time, and it's not willy-nilly. It takes time, decisions to make, but this one's trying to fight for us to plant more of it. Initially our thoughts were, we've got plenty of things to focus on, but it continues to show it wants to do well here in the Finger Lakes and what our cellar team's doing with it. So, yeah, I'm in.
A little bit of almondy, appley, crisp. You can go back and look at the video from March and see how Peter Beecraft described it, because I might describe it completely different because everybody has a different palate and a different nose.
Something I enjoy, and as we planted this, if you have the opportunity to have the Pinot Gris, nice to put the Pinot Gris and the Pinot Blanc side by side. If you've heard people use some of the descriptors they use, what I taste some of the difference is the difference between the input of the outside of the orange and the input of the inside of the orange. Or when someone says an orange rind versus tangerine, something like that. When you put these two together, you'll start to see those comparisons from lime zest or a lemon, kind of input, especially any of the citrus. But these are some of the descriptors I get in my Pinot Blanc tasting and really, really enjoy, because I had to make sure it was different than Pinot Gris, and it is definitely different than Pinot Gris. Equally as delicious.
You guys are gonna, one of my favorites. All right, so the family is getting those 4 wines. You Passion Club folks, we reached into the library and we pulled out our 2018 Merlot. So this is a library wine for you all to enjoy. And I think this is the first time you're tasting this one since we take it out of we took it out of the library. We've all been tasting it randomly, but
yeah. So an 18. Now you're getting a chance to kind of look at the history of the Finger Lakes a little bit. Those who are geeky and like to evaluate wines, there's time on this bottle, on this wine. And, obviously we'll share the descriptors of what the regiment was for it. But it's a great wine to just see how reds in the Finger Lakes hold up. Sarah, remind me, how much Merlot do we currently have, or will we have next year?
None.
Huh.
Our Nut Road vineyard that we have managed for 20 plus years was recently sold. And that was a decision on all of our parts. And that was the only vineyard that had the Merlot. And the Merlot, we hadn't been, I think maybe 2018 might have been one of the last vintages that we made a wine from those grapes. This one is maybe a relic.
It
Not
is.
a relic, but a
elusive, hard to get.
Yep, you won't be able to get this one again because we will not be making another Merlot. We're not planning to plant Merlot.
So we really don't like to get those kind of things out of the library. But it is fun to share, and it's an opportunity that we as a family get, is to bust out an old bottle and see where it's at, evaluate how something is aging, so we can give you good input and good insight on how this will go. Prior to that 2018, it had standalone vintages, but where it contributed, it made a great field blend. Always a great contributing grape, but the world knows Merlot is a standalone.
This one to me is still fairly young. I think this one could, you could certainly drink it now, but I think you could continue to age it for another couple of years. It's got a nice silkiness to it, some silky tannins maybe.
As I taste it, it just reminds of something that I know is my own tasting of reds, or something that I appreciate that I try to pass on. There is nothing wrong with putting a red in the refrigerator, right? And I'm not talking about the conversation of chillable reds. Lighter tannins, lower body, make for chillable reds, and it's kind of a term right now. But any red that you'd like to evaluate, there's nothing wrong 20 minutes or so before your meal, putting it in there, letting it get in a light chill, and pour that first glass, let it settle, taste it, and taste the wine as it warms up to the temperature it should be served at, 55, 65, whatever that path is for the particular red you're working with. But it is really interesting to taste it at 50 and find out how maybe as closed it is, and then it opens up and you're like, wow. Cold wines kind of hide faults, but that's not you can just explore a red a little bit more than just whatever room temperature is. Sometimes just going through a couple degrees really shows off what a grape is capable of, and this is one of the cases that it has a light chill on it, so delicious.
All right, everybody, so those are the wines in the November Wine Club shipment. You'll be getting them in time for Thanksgiving, obviously. And, if there's something in that shipment that's not to your palate or not to your liking, they make great gifts. So try not to swap them out. Challenge yourself. Try something a little different. And most of all, thank you for supporting us and being part of our greater family here and being brand ambassadors out there in the world for Anthony Road. And happy harvest, happy fall, happy Thanksgiving. And thanks, Mike, for joining me today.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.